Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Chris and this is the Naked Hair Guy channel, and on this channel we look at the myths, tips and tricks to get the best out of your hairdressing career. On this week's video we're going to be looking at toners and how to get the best out of them, and maybe as well to increase salon revenue by using them as a service rather than just neutralizing unwanted color. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so let's get straight to it. But before we do, if you have just tuned in to sort of see the final result and the model that I'm going to do, as was on the thumbnail, then please skip forward on the video and get to that part. However, if you want to hang around, I'm going to talk through how to get the best out of your toners and when you should use which toner. So it sounds simple, and it is, but there still is a little bit of confusion. So I'm going to talk you through that. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to find your company's color star. So as you guys know, I'm an ambassador for ASP Affinage and I use their color Infinity. So this is their color star. You also get a color wheel. Various companies do different things, but the principle behind it is exactly the same. However, what does alter is the numbering or the lettering system that is around that color star or that color circle. So you're going to need to download your company's own version of that so that you can reference which toner you're going to need to use. Okay, so when it comes to choosing your toner, you've got two options. You can work off the main color chart, or your company might have a specific range of toners. And this is the case with Infinity. So with Infinity, you can use a color off the color chart. So for instance, if I end up with slightly yellow hair, if I look at my color star, I know that I need a violet toner. The violet is a 0.2, so I simply come to my color chart. I've got 10.2. I'm going to mix that up with either 3% 10 vol or with converter, and I'm going to put that on at the basin and visually watch it. When it's the color I want, I'm going to take it off, and that's it. Job done. Likewise, if I end up with very orange, very copper hair and I want a blue toner, the blue toner is the 10-2-1. And again, I'm going to use this with 3% or with converter, visually watch it, and when it's done, I simply take it off. These are great, and I use them probably 60-70% of the time because they go very quickly. And I'm quite quick at putting toners on, and also again, I've got quite a bit of experience, so I know when they're nearly done so that I can get them off and they don't go too blue or too ash or anything like that. What Infinity have now done is to launch a specific range of toners. So these are actually fantastic because they're a little bit slower, but also because these three here actually have an extra level of lift built in. So if you only lift your client up to a 9 or a 10, but you still want to get that one extra level of lift, these toners aren't just going to tone the hair, they're going to give you that extra level of lift as well. These three over here are just traditional toners. Again, the numbering system on these, you have your T2, which obviously is a violet. You have your T21, which is a blue. And again, you have your T21S, which is a blue, with an ingredient that gets it super clean and super white. Now these are much slower. I'm happy to sort of walk away from these. They process sort of over 25 minutes, whereas if I was using the ones off the main color chart, I would be stood there just visually watching them. They both give nice results, and it's worth just playing around with the toners. Now again, this can be a difficult thing to do as hairdressers because obviously we're working on clients, so how do you play on a client, and if they don't like it, what's going to happen? So if that's the case, then try and save some hair from somebody that you've cut off that's blonde and give that a little go and see about mixing, say, two toners together or using a toner on it and seeing the result that you've got. If that's too difficult for you, you can actually buy, and we use these quite a lot to demonstrate things, you can actually buy these little swatches here. I'll put them in the link below. They're from Pivot Point, who also do great head blocks as well, which are really good for if you're doing seminars and shows or training or anything like that in the salon. But these are really, really handy, again, just to have a play. And it doesn't have to be with toners. If you want to have a little play around with color correction, stripping colors out, making your own rose gold or something like that, very, very handy to have these and just have a little play. The other thing that's really, really good is this little book by Head Notes. And again, I'll copy this in the link below. I use this so when I've done a swatch, I write the formula in this and I stick the swatch in it, because I might not need it straight away, but it's always good to have a reference to it. They also do a really good app, and I'm going to put a head sheet up later on, and that head sheet comes off their app. It's free to download, I think, but I'll put the link below, and it's really handy just to sort of draw on and sort of then hand out to people should you need it, if you do any training or if you just want to make notes for yourself. So that's really cool. Anyway, check that out. It's handy to have. Okay, so as you can see, we have got our model here. It's already very, very light. It's not going to actually need a lot of toning for the purpose of like a color correction. But at the beginning of the video, I talked about how you can actually use this as a service to increase your revenue. So people spend a lot of money and a lot of time to get blonde. Once they are blonde, they then start to get a little bit bored and want different things, but obviously they don't want to go dark. So using toners can give them a change, can give them something new. So what I'm actually going to do on this model is I am going to take all of these toners and I am going to section this up, and I am going to put all of the toners over the head. Now again, toners, depending on how strong they are, how long you leave them on, how much they get washed, depends on how long they last, but ultimately they will fade off. So this client could have a couple or all of them, or intermix them, or to give this client a change when she comes to the salon. So she may just normally book in and have her bleach done and then the toner and then her blow dry or a cut and blow dry. Whereas now what you can do is you can offer this as an extra service. She may only have it for a special occasion, or she might just fancy a change, and therefore it stops her getting bored and doing something drastic, because you know what they're like. Oh, I've stuck this box dye on and now. So by offering her something like this, it's going to keep her interested. There are other things as well. There are the metallics as well in the Infinity range, which are fantastic for using on pre-lightened hair to give it real high shine, but they don't last. They just give the client a bit of a rose gold or a bit of a light blue or something like that, just again, just in panels or in sections, just to keep them interested. So how I'm going to section this up, and I was talking earlier about an app. So this is a head sheet from that app. And this basically as well is how I would section up if I was going to do my balayage as well. So I've linked that below. It's a great little app. I use it all the time, and you can sort of post it and save stuff and doodle on it as well. It's really cool. So I'm now going to section this up, mix up my colour, and I'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, I have wet down my model's hair and I have done a section pattern. This is a little difficult for you to see, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try for you down below to put the PDF of the head sheet and write on the head sheet which colours I've used and in what location on the head. Basically, I've got 12 sections and I've got 6 toners that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use each toner twice, replicating and keeping it even on each side of the head, if that makes sense. Also, what I've done is I'm starting with my rose toner. I've added into that some Colour Your Way. So Colour Your Way is a thickening powder. You can add it to any colour, you can add it to any semi-colour, you can add it to your bleach, and it just thickens it up so that as I'm doing this and I'm laying it down, I'm not going to have it bleeding onto other sections, and I'm not going to have the need for foil. Okay, so any questions about that, then pop them in the comment below and I'm happy to answer them. Also, if this head sheet isn't down, comment below and I will try and email it to you instead. I'm still learning all the technical stuff on YouTube, so bear with me for that. So I'm going to start with the rose, and we're going to do these 2 panels here. So we've got a triangle at the front and the panels just behind that, one there and one there. I'm going to do with the rose gold first, and then I'm going to work my way around the head. So I think it's time for some fast action, and see you in a second. Hi, so welcome back. So hopefully I'm going to do some close-ups of this so you can really see the colours. I don't know how well you're going to see them at this distance, so I'll do some close-up shots in a minute. But as you can see, some nice different tones running through the hair, nothing too drastic, so it's not going to freak your client out. It's going to give her a change, a little bit of something different, and you can alternate the sectioning pattern on this. You can alternate the toners that you use, and like I said as well, you can also use something like the metallics or different strengths of toners as well. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please hit that like, share and notification button, and I will see you next time.